Hey everybody, this is Jake from Hypercane Studios, and today I'm going to take you through what I've been working for on the art side of things for Arconia. I'd like to do a couple quick things before I get started on this. Um, as an introduction, we are Hypercane Studios, www.hypercanestudios.com if you're interested. Um, we're new to Unreal Engine. We come from Shiva, which was a non-PBR workflow for me. Um, we made this prototype called Gunalot, a battle for Wilhelm. This was a 3-week project where we just really wanted to get familiar with the Unreal Engine and see what we could do with it. So it's free to download. You do need to run a server for it, but it's a blast to play with your friends. Check it out if you're interested. Um, as we go through this walkthrough of what I've been working on, I will be referencing a couple different things. So let me just show you some tutorials that I got things from. Unreal Engine, Demystifying the Dot. This is awesome for planets. This guy really breaks it down. And if you're interested in planet glows and getting shadows on transparent areas and that type of thing, I would definitely take a look at that. A lot of great knowledge in there, and I took a lot of searching to actually find somebody that was doing this correctly and really broke it down so you could understand it. Um, Another thing that you'll probably be seeing in my material networks is I'm using this material function instead of Unreal's angle blend. This is something new I'm trying. I don't know if it's any better or not, but I wanted to mention this guy Jack Karen. He's got some good information on his blog. He talks a lot about overlaying with normal maps, and the reason he's using this material function versus Unreal's. So let's get to it. This is 31 days, day 31 for me, and I'm wasting my time making a video. For my brother Zach, he's on day 52. I'm 3 weeks behind him in production because there was 3 weeks for the development of the gray box and the prototyping phase for the game, Arconia. Uh, I don't do, I'm not doing that stuff on this project just because I tend to get in the way. I slow things down because I'm always wanting to, get a vision for everything and get the assets in there, and it just kind of slows him down as him being the programmer. He just wants to get the game fun, and that's the most important thing anyways in the beginning. Um, the first thing I started on when I got all the stuff kicked over from Zach and the camera views were set was the skybox. I'm using Spacescape. It's a simple program, but it's an awesome program. So I've just got, for System 1, really light stars, very subtle, and then Zach made these star volumes that are procedurally generated, and then I'm using a, where is it, exponential height fog just to give a little mist. And yeah, that's it. And you've got that. So you see the glow on the planet. It's not quite subtle enough right now, but that was after the skybox. I worked on just what the homeworld's going to look like as you're slowly terraforming it. So this would be kind of like the final state. That demystifying the dot is this. Sorry. So got the soft edge there where you can kind of fade it a little bit more, so it's kind of blending into space more. And this has, these controls on this are really touchy, so I haven't really fully dialed everything, but I do have everything set up so that I can move forward and go to the next project and then come back and know exactly where I was, and when we get to the final polish phase I can start polishing all the materials. So I've got that. There's the glow, that's the first piece. The second piece is the cloud instance, which has that function on it too. And if you see, I just turn this to 0. No clouds. I had the clouds panning at one point, but it just didn't feel good. And it's still a work in progress, so we'll see what happens to it when I get to the end of that. And then the last thing, this is a function that I added for the atmosphere. I kind of wanted like this blue glow to it. Um, and you know, you can brighten it up, you can kind of see it better there, but I just wanted it really subtle to where the sun's kind of really hitting the hottest spot there. Turn it down, but change the position, you can bring it out more. And this will give us a lot of control on exactly how we want the planet to look as we build it up and it finally gets to its final state like this. So, still a work in progress, but it was good enough to where I could move on to the next thing. So after I built that planet, I wanted to get some of the harder stuff done, so I went to the player ship next. We knew we wanted it to be modular. I knew the functions because Zach and our friend Aaron, who we brought onto this project with, he's not a developer, but he's a major gamer and he has a lot of good ideas and he's very blunt on if he likes something or not. So he's been a valuable addition for this project. All right, so ship one, just a basic little base ship here. Simple, blocky, easy to add different pieces. If I want to go in and model something else, we want different unique looks. This first upgrade, this is the awkward stage. I wanted it to be a little off balance, so the player was like, oh, I can't wait to get the next upgrade. Hopefully the ship will look cooler. So you get the medium upgrade, and adds a little more to the ship, and then you get the heavy upgrade, and it kind of starts filling out and balancing out more. And then you've got all the fluff items. Yeah, so that's the ship and substance painter. And then here's the blueprint for it. So once I'm done with it there, I bring it into a blueprint and then kick it off to Zach. And Zach did a video on the ship on how he's randomizing all of the pieces that a player would pick up and add to the ship. So if you're interested in that, you'll find that in this forum post here. So after the ship, I went to Space Station. My brother and I are we're huge Lego fans when we were kids, and I really wanted the space station in itself to feel like Legos. And that was so that Zach, as a programmer, could, you know, come in and just build it out like Legos. He could make a space station that looked completely different. So this is one version of it, and it's not going to be a randomized modularization. It's just going to be, you know, make a blueprint. I want this type of space station. Maybe you don't want catwalks, and maybe you don't want a lower ring, or you want the asteroid in the middle. And let's see here. Let me show you kind of how I use Sketchfab to talk between my brother and myself, just because we're remote. So I use this primarily just for sending our friends and him block out ideas to get my point across. I don't like doing rendering and setting up lighting. I feel that it wastes a lot of my time, and I'd rather be modeling and getting stuff done and getting feedback immediately instead of working on, you know, trying to get my point across of how it's supposed to look. So what I'll do is I'll just bring a block out in like this and, you know, tag it different tags and send it over to Zach and a couple of our friends, and they'll give me feedback, and then I'll move forward. So that's kind of my process on blockouts and stuff. So that was the next major piece I did with the space station. After the space station, I started working on asteroids, and that was well, I don't know how long ago that was, maybe 2 weeks ago. And funny thing is I'm actually back to asteroids now as of 2 days ago, because I just wasn't happy with how I was doing them. One problem with the asteroids, and one problem in games that I always have an issue with, is I hate it when you can tell that somebody is duplicating the same asset somewhere else, and it doesn't have a unique look. So I thought in the beginning on the asteroids that I would make everything have a unique look, and every system would have, you know, 3 basic asteroids and 2 hero asteroids. Zach built this cool world creator for me, so I can go in and add models, my models that I make, without having to ask him to integrate stuff for me. So I can add however many asteroids I want here that I've created from blueprints, and then I can go in and say, oh, I want 1,500 asteroids. Whoa, probably not that many. I don't want to crash this video. And then I can add as many hero asteroids, which will be the little higher poly asteroids, so there'll be a lower number. And I can randomize um, a scale, a minimum and maximum scale, and I can even add spawners around them, orbitals, all sorts of stuff without bothering him. So it saves him time and it saves me a lot of time. So after I created all these different asteroids for these systems, it felt like I was trying to move too fast and the models were not receiving enough attention and things were looking okay but not great. So this week I started working on, well, 2 days ago I started working on just a singular asset to try to see how unique I could make it across 3 systems. So the first one I did is this one right here. Pretty simple. It's got some pretty awesome material functions on it. I'll show you really quick. This is the basic asteroid. Just break out the instance here. So what I've got is an AO mask and an edge AO mask. One thing, I really love rocks and terrain, and coming into Unreal Engine, I'm just getting a deeper love for it, and I want to do it better. So this is what I'm at right now. So I'll just turn this blue so you can see it easier. So that's just the edge AO mask right there, and I like to have like that worn areas on the material. And then I've got on my other AO masks, I've got like this inner color, so I can kind of mess around with the colors on that, and same with the outer. And then I've got your basic tint, and then the tiling normals. I got lots of different detail maps over the years, so you can change the detail, change the normal strength, all that stuff. And you'd be surprised at how cheap of a material it is. 93 instructions, and we are only using dynamic lighting at this time. I can't bake lighting in here because everything is randomly generated. I could bake it on the planet and stuff if I wanted to, but what's the point? Asteroids and stuff, it's just kind of a case by case basis because I can't bake as to just tweaking materials. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for that. Let me show you System 2 just so you can see kind of how I'm developing the different unique looks for the same asset to really try to make it so it's not, so players can't say, oh yeah, he's using that over there too. So this is System 2, and this is the same asteroid, just a lot more crisp normal on it, trying to make it feel really lava-ish. And I might as well go through System 2 really quick just to speed things up. I'm just doing a tessellation on the planet there, and I was actually messing with particles a while back, so you'll see some particles on it. I threw the particles on there just because my brother's really good with particle systems, and I wanted to just throw something out there to give him the idea of kind of what I'm going for, and see if he can help me improve it when we get towards the FX pass in the game. So there's that. There's the asteroid, and I'll show you this really quick so we don't have to come back to this system. Just docking. He set this up. It's kind of how the first station's going to work. This is just really so I can do a resolution test and that type of thing when I get to it. So this is the little Arconia dude on the station. And, alright. So let's go to the final system here that I've been working on. Not the final system in the game, just as far as I've gotten so far. So this system is the most out of the ordinary system out of all of them so far. I'm trying to bring the sea life to space, or the ocean to space. I don't know. So it's definitely a work in progress. So this is the same asteroid. For this, I'm actually using a tessellation mask. And I'll show you that really quick. So these are my previous asteroids. And so this is not that expensive. I'm working on another shader right now that's actually a lot more expensive. I guess this one is pretty expensive. So what I'm doing for the mask here is, just a basic mask I did in Photoshop, and then gave it a little blur, and came up with this. So come down here where there's a few more of them. So I think it's starting to be a pretty unique look for just one asset. I will obviously have other types of asteroids in each system, but it'll drastically reduce the amount of time I spend. I won't have to have 6 per system. I could have maybe 2 to 4 per system. Just trying to cut back all the stuff I have to do here for this game. So let's see here. That's the latest thing I've been working on. Go back to Zach did a video on procedural planets. Let me see, maps. Let's see, planet randomized test. He did a video on this, and I have some assets scaled at weird sizes, so sorry about that on that top right there. But all I did for this was make a bunch of textures in Substance Painter. And let me see, planets. No, sorry, it's been so long since I've looked at some of this stuff. It feels like monos, particles, planets. Why wouldn't I just put it in planets? PC, no. Oh, there it is. I did put it in planets. Jesus. Okay, so I just built, a couple different types of textures, a couple different types of masks, and then he's just randomizing them. And then I went in and played with the materials in here to figure out, how high of a color parameter is acceptable, and then he capped that, so it wouldn't go past so it wouldn't look completely pastel. The materials may need a little bit of work, but it's good enough for now to where we can move on to other stuff. Right, let's see here. Take a look at the Arconian dude now. The Arconian dude is very dear to me. When I first started sketching him, I got inspiration from Marvin the Martian. I used to watch a lot of Bugs Bunny and Wile E. Coyote and all that stuff when I was a kid. So, this is him in Substance Painter. Got little rocket boots here. And, he's going to be a little dude that pops out of the ship, gets into some mischief. Yeah, he's our Arconian race. Whoops, sorry. Sorry about my big, massive color wheel there. On my background. So here's what I did with the Arconian dude. Rigged him, and then this is my first time trying the retargeting system in Unreal, and I gotta say I love it. It's not perfect. The one that I'm retargeting right now, his shoulders are a little weird, but I was very surprised that it worked on my first go at it. So yeah, I think it's perfect for what we're doing here, and I am horrible at animations, so it makes things go a little faster for me. Alright, so after the Arconian dude, I worked on... Sorry, I'm just looking at my document to see here. Arconian dude, enemy. First enemy, his name is Jelly. So in the beginning when I made Jelly, my plan for him was to have all these tentacles everywhere, and we were going to use physics on them. They were just going to look really crazy in space coming at you. But when we got it in there, the physics were just way too expensive. So it didn't work. So I did a morph on his head. I was happy how that came out. Added a curve for the bloom, little eye bounce. But I'm definitely not happy with the legs. Again, I suck at animation, so those are definitely a work in progress. Since we can't do physics on them, I will have to come up with something else for them that looks a little more organic. So yeah, that's a work in progress. So that's enemy. Um, let's see here. What else have I worked on? It just doesn't, when you break it down into a video, it just doesn't feel like a lot. Um, oh, let me show you System 3 here. So I do have this, I've been working on the material for this ice, oh no, ice forest material I've been working on. So let's go to maps, System 3. Okay, I'll just take out ice 1 and put in ice 4. Boom. Simple as that. Alright, so this one I've been working on with the subsurface, and that's the subsurface there. It's still a work in progress, but I'm just trying to give another unique look to the asteroids. So yeah, I think that's it. Just looking through my list. That's about all I've done in 31 days. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a lot. I've got a lot more to do. But anyways, I will try to make another video in around 30 days or so, hopefully. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jake from Hypercane Studios again, and we hope you keep following Arconia.